Alright, it's been a while, so let's see if I still remember how to do this. Hello my friends, my name is AJ and welcome back to my book nook. I'm back. It has been a while since I've made a video. I've been on sort of a temporary hiatus for the past couple of months. That was not intentional. I did not plan to not upload, especially considering that the next few months my uploads are going to be pretty sparse. But I did want to make this video just to let you all know kind of what's going on, some things that I've been thinking about while I was not making videos, and where I want this channel to kind of go from here. So during my little hiatus, I actually made some decisions about where I want the future of this channel to go. And one of the decisions I made is that I am going to be stepping back from doing book reviews. I know, right? Yeah, AJ Reviews is just a series on this channel that I'm not super passionate about, you know? I really enjoy the other series more than I enjoy AJ Reviews. It is something that takes more time, despite the fact it has less scripting, and it really has very little payout since I'm not really in love with that series, and also it typically gets the least amount of views of all of my videos, so I'm thinking I'm gonna step away from it. Occasionally I might post a review every once in a while on the YouTube channel, but for the most part I am going to be making all of my reviews posts on Instagram instead. So if you followed me because you wanted to see book reviews and sort of fun little stuff like that, you can follow me there, and you can still get that same sort of content, but a little bit more compressed and just in a different spot. But that isn't the only reason I wanted to move away from making reviews, and I want to get into that a little bit because I have sort of stopped looking at book reviews entirely, and I want to tell you why that is. Over my little break, I discovered a Instagram page called Goodreads Reviews. It is genuinely very, very funny, and I highly suggest checking it out. It is basically a page that compiles all of these one-star Goodreads reviews that have very comedic reviews to them, and it's very, very funny, but it reminded me of something that I really dislike about looking at reviews. Because one day I saw a post for a book that I have read, haven't posted on this channel, but have posted about on my Instagram, called The Lost Apothecary, and all the comments were people talking about how they really didn't like it, how they didn't find it, you know, super well written, they didn't find it super engaging, and I was really surprised because I really, really enjoyed that book. It made me realize that there is this mindset surrounding books and critiquing books. And it's this mindset that every book has to be the best book that's ever written, has to be challenging, has to really make you think. And that's unrealistic, because every book can't be the best book you've ever read. That title is only going to go to one. So why are we expecting all these different books of all these different genres to hold up to the same standards? I actually recently saw a Tumblr post about the same thing, about people critiquing Book Talk and how all books recommended on Book Talk are the same now, how they're all these young adult romances and they're not very interesting and they're not very well written. And I just gotta say, if that is the only thing that you're seeing on Book Talk, that just means you're not on the right side of Book Talk, because there are people who are suggesting some really, really interesting books, some very complex books, some very great books. And if you're seeing the same thing, that's really on you for not taking advantage of the algorithm the way you should be. But I can say this as someone who spent most of my high school years reading classics, and now in my young adult years trying to read those young adult books and teen books that I missed when I was growing up. Not every book needs to be incredibly challenging. I've always had the mindset that you can shift the way you think about books if you know the kind of book you're reading. So if I'm reading something like Ace of Spades or Dune, I'm gonna be in a mindset where I'm like, okay, I have to think a little bit more. I have to, you know, really think about what's being said to me. I have to really be ready to be challenged. But if I'm reading a book like The Daughter of the Pirate King or American Royals, I know that this is a bit of a lighter topic. This is going to be a bit of a lighter book, and I can go into it with a different mindset. I'm not going into those books expecting to be challenged, expecting there to be no tropes whatsoever, expecting it to be completely unique and never seen before. I'm going into those books expecting them to be what they are and ready to enjoy them. I think the mindset that every book has to be challenging, and if you're not reading challenging books, then why are you reading them at all, is a really, really dangerous mindset, because for a lot of people, books are a form of escapism, or they're just a form of having fun. And we shouldn't be saying reading books shouldn't be fun, it should be challenging, it should make you think. That's not the case at all. Look, I like a good challenging book as much as the next person, but sometimes I want to sit down and read a cheesy romance novel, and that doesn't mean that that novel is any less important than reading, say, The Lord of the Rings. They're just very different, but that doesn't mean that they have any less worth or that they're necessarily bad. I stopped reading reviews because I got sick of reading books that weren't necessarily the best written or weren't necessarily the most complex, and really liking them and then going online and seeing that other people hated them. It's this very superficial and superiority complex line of thinking that really just ruins the fun. You're allowed to like books that other people don't like, but I know that the pressure of seeing other people's opinions can be really tough, and you start thinking, well, maybe they're right, it wasn't the most well-written book. But you can just do things for fun. I think it's the same thing with movies. There are a lot of movies out there that aren't necessarily good, and I know that they're not necessarily good, but they're fun. I like watching them. And it's the same with books. Reading should be fun, and we should be encouraging people to have fun reading, because that's going to have more people do it. I also just find that with this mindset of being critical and, tearing books apart is not something that I am well equipped to do. I don't feel like I've been doing the best with my reviews. I very typically can find something I like about a book that I'm reading, and even if it's not my favorite, I can usually find something good to say about it. And I've been trying to keep this channel pretty positive. If there's a book that I genuinely don't like, I'm not going to say outright, this is a terrible book, because I recognize that other people might like it. For example, I really did not enjoy Dune, but I recognize that a lot of people really like it. It's really important to a lot of people, so I'm not going to say this is a bad book, this is boring. I'm just going to say, I didn't find it that interesting. I found that it sort of dragged on a bit. Very different. But I can find good things about it as well. And that's why I don't think I'm super well equipped for this. I have always been the kind of person to try and find good things to say about stuff, and I usually can succeed. I can probably name on one hand all of the books that I've read and absolutely hated. So, in light of that, I am going to be moving away from the reviews, as I said at the beginning of this video. I'm still going to keep around my Canadian Author Spotlight series. I think that that is something that I am very good at, and I think that it's something that makes my channel unique to most people's, and I think it really ties into the whole, Canadian branding, I guess, of the channel. I'm still also going to do Pages to Stages, but I'm going to focus a little bit more on sort of the process of filmmaking, the choices that they made, rather than reviewing how well I think they were made. I'm going to focus on the changes itself rather than my opinion on it. And I also want to make more like video essay style videos, such as my In Defense of Cinderella video, and more vlog style videos, such as my 24-hour readathon, which I do want to do another one of those. I don't know when it'll happen or if it'll happen anytime soon, but I do want to do another readathon at some point. And I also have a few other scripted series ideas that I'm hoping to make. Again, that's going to be a while because they're going to be a lot of work, but I'm hoping that you all will stick around to see these changes. If you did follow me for reviews, like I said, you can still see those on Instagram. I'll be posting them there, but this I'm going to focus a little bit more on some of the more fun side of stuff, the videos that I enjoy making. As I said, the videos are going to be a little bit more sparse. They're not going to be weekly. I mean, they were barely weekly before, but they're going to take a little bit longer to make, but I'm going to try my best to make sure that they are worthy of that time and they are worthy of the wait. So I hope you'll stick around, and yeah, but that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy where this channel is going in the future. And I will see all of you lovely people in the next video. Bye!